What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about Airfix's 1976 release of modern German infantry in 132 scale. So this box I got off eBay. It had it actually contained more figures than are listed here in the picture. I got one extra piece, which is cool. So that's probably going to leave me some feel-good room for painting these. Just going to paint one since the full set would include 29 pieces. I have the extra one. We'll paint that guy up. So again, this is going to be my review from a bit of a designer standpoint, but also a painter's standpoint on how I would paint the figures. Looking at the box art, I mean, pretty standard Airfix box art for the infantry of this time. It's a great illustration. The actual infantry fighting an unseen off canvas enemy, which is, leaves a lot to the imagination. Insert your enemy here, right? I like this guy in the back, in front of the flames. He's pretty cool. He's a little softer, a little less detail, but I really like how the illustrator took the really put a lot of detail into the front facing figure here and sort of dialed it back as they got progressively farther away. I really like the painting. I got this off eBay from a seller. I think I did pretty good. It was $40. I think that's great, right? Especially for the additional figure. Figures were in great condition. No dirt, grime, dust, anything. They were kept really nice in the box. The box has been opened and lovingly used. It's cool because it's got this $3.95 price tag sticker still on it, which I think is awesome. I love that piece of history. This is definitely the worn side. This is the side that was always open from. You can tell this side is much cleaner, and I'm actually hesitant to even open it because it's in such good condition on this side. But I will enhance, there we go, so you can see it a bit better. So it's got a little bit of wear here from where it's been popped open. And inside my box was this neat envelope the original owner kept. I guess this is an insert that Airfix used to put into their boxes. It says, "Are you a member of the Modelers Club? Club page every week in Buster and Valiant Comics. Or write to Airfix Modelers Club." And then there's the London address. I don't know if this is still in use, so look it up if you're gonna mail them. But I love the logo. It's that classic flat Airfix logo. I'm a logo designer by trade. So what I really like about this specific Airfix logo is that it's come full circle from where it was. In the early 2000s, a lot of brands started to create what were essentially glossy, buttonized versions of their logos. A lot of you will see that in the older Airfix boxes, the red ones in the corner. It has a shine to it. It looks like it's a physical button, and that is called skeuomorphism. Skeuomorphism. It was something that was popularized. Brands like Apple, when their iPhone came out, they had these apps and everything looked like a real thing. It was supposed to be like a real world representation of a clock, for example, or a calendar. And everything looked a little 3D. So in recent years, the trend with brands has been to move more towards the flat, simpler logos, because as screens have gotten so good, this flat, simple logos look better. One of the justifications for a lot of companies rebranding to a glossier rebrand was to stay modern and hip, to basically keep up with what they thought customers would expect, because we're living in this digital age of polish and finishes, right? And as that has sort of adapted, we've seen a lot of companies come back full circle, so they're flat. But there is still a lot of this emphasis on typefaces and them being sort of fun and having unique quirks about them. So as for the box, before we get into the figures, it's pretty standard Airfix box. It does have the new Starburst on it, which indicates it's a new release. I believe subsequent releases of this production did not have the new sticker on them from what I saw online. So it's cool to see that I have a first edition. The sides only list the date on one side as well as the age suitability. And the back gives you a bit of information about the weapons, but the box also does give you some general painting instructions. It seems like these are just largely olive drab uniforms. There's nothing exciting about them really, but they've got the black boots and a bit of foliage in the netted cap there. And there's a slight deviation away from what made the Wehrmacht helmets so unique. There's a bit of that there, I see, the curvature of it, but it is moving towards something that is less of that era and distinctive of the Wehrmacht. So that's cool. I won't bother reading the back to you, but it is pretty standard for what Airfix put out at this time. I like the colors. I like this green on the back. I think the yellow does a nice job complementing the green within that. Not only the image, there's a bit of yellow too, so like the designer, they pulled those yellows together. I think the box all fits really well together. I think that putting red on green like they do on the box side of the box here makes it absolutely illegible. So that was an interesting design choice when it seems like so much of the choices were so well thought out, but maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I'm wrong, who knows. Anyway, let's get into looking at the figures. So all in all, there are 7 unique sculpts, and of these 7 unique sculpts, there's exactly 1 of this guy. So I originally did like a lot of research on this video to try to like understand what the guns are, and I was really trying to identify like what Uzi this was. And the best I could find information-wise on it is that this is an Israeli-made Uzi that was essentially like repurposed by the German army, and they added these wood stocks. So that the most information I could find on it is that they were Israeli made and they were re-engineered for the German army. Okay, so from a painting perspective, we're gonna just kind of go through each one of these guys individually really quick, because I think there's not that many. It shouldn't take that long. Overall, there's flash lines, mold lines along every figure. None of them run down their face, I don't think. So that's great. There's nothing egregious about the mold lines. I mean, this guy's face is a little busted up, but there's no like mold line. So we'll go through them one at a time. The mold lines are very manageable. I like that they go down the side. That makes hiding them very easy, especially with my often imperfect cleanup jobs. So I really like the face. It's nice and symmetrical. The way the light is catching the eyes here, it does look like the right, well, his left eye is like more indented, but that's like stuff that can be easily addressed with the painting contouring. And yeah, if I was going to paint this guy, I would probably just do a lot of olive. If I wanted to be like the box, I'd probably do olive drab and then mix in some yellows as highlights, so it's not just boring green all the way through. So I guess from a painting perspective, it would be fun to do like a light wood handle for the Uzi stock, and then keep everything green. Maybe do some light greens into the helmet foliage here to match the box art as best as I could. I think that would be fun. So I'll look at this guy is the most controversial, which I agree. I couldn't find anything in regards to like what this might be, other than possibly during the 70s, Hungary was still using potato masher variants, but they didn't look like this World War II stick grenade right here. So that's fine. I mean, I don't know. It's more about, again, more focused on the painting. And speaking of that, like there's this large connection piece right here where I just don't ever know what to paint. They're probably just going to get painted dark. The face is pretty asymmetrical. It looks like he maybe got punched in the face, or he's like been in battle. So there's some kind of fun opportunity here to, if I was going to paint this guy, maybe do some like bruising to his face, or maybe have him look like he's been through hell, right? Like he's kind of looks battle worn in that regard. The uniform though is pretty simple, standard. The gun's pretty simple, standard. Just a bit more potential wood stock there, or paint it black. I have to look at the actual color schemes for it, but nothing too wild. This guy running has a very big connection piece in his arm, between his gun and his arm, which I'm surprised by, but I mean, I guess I'm not surprised for the error. There's still a lot of detail. They look great. This guy has the mold line running up his face, so I did not see that originally. So painting him would probably just take more time to clean up, but he does have pretty substantial seam lines all the way through. He's also got this larger pouch back here with this is where the seam line is the most egregious, down his backside. This one's pretty bad, but still worth looking at. It's still very nice overall sculpt if it was cleaned up. So this guy with the little RPG, the box says that this is a Panzerfaust and Carl Gustav, but I'm not 100% accurate on that, because my understanding is the Panzerfausts all were just like on sticks. So this might be closer to the Carl Gustav, or maybe they got it wrong. In terms of painting this guy, I think it'd be pretty standard like the rest of them. Maybe have some fun with the rocket tip, make it red or something. The seam lines are pretty low. So we'll do the guy who's prone last. There's this guy in the standing firing pose. Almost looks like he's at the rifle range, or he could be behind wall cover. Not a lot of detail on his face. The gun to shoulder just sort of blend together. That happens a lot with these standing poses I've seen in figures. So this area becomes harder to define, which can make which basically takes away from all the face detail. I mean, he's just got a nose, a cheekbone, or an eye there. There's a little bit we could do potentially with, covering it up with camouflage, like camouflage paint. I don't know if that was something of the era, but it could be cool. Everyone's favorite pose, from what I understand, is the guy with the Uzi. I mean, he does look rad. His stock is largely covered up here, so if I wanted to, I could just paint that nondescriptly and it could look like he has the regular stock. But pretty standard. The tips are good. The plastic itself is, you know, that 70s plastic where it's like a little bendy, but it's overall pretty hard and not to the point of being brittle. And this is the last guy. He's got a great face underneath his helmet, although his helmet does look pretty off center, which is kind of funny. There's a lot of room up in that helmet. The bottom details are largely flat and nondescript. The back details have a lot of wrinkles in the legs, which are always fun to paint, and they give a lot of opportunity for creating high contrast, which makes them stand out and look cool. The gun itself on this side is losing all detail in the hand and on the side of the barrel, up the barrel, and on the other side it's pretty much the same. It looks like there's even like extra pieces here. I don't even know what these are supposed to be. It almost looks like a giant safety clicker or something like that. So yeah, guys, that's all 7 of the Modern German Infantry by Airfix from 1976. So this is everything that came inside my box. Again, I bought this used on eBay for $40. It came with 6 guys with potato mashers, 4 guys with RPGs, 4 guys prone firing MGs, 5 guys with Uzis, 5 guys with G3s in the standing upright position, and 5 in the running firing position, and that totals 30. So it's interesting how that worked out. My best guess to what happened is that maybe the previous owner had multiple boxes of these figures, and when he was scooping them all back up, he added an extra guy with the masher, not realizing, because it is easy to overcount these guys. Overall, I really like the set. I would love to explore painting the one guy, maybe doing some battle damage to his face, making him look like a little beaten up or something, like he's in the heat of battle. I think I'm going to keep these guys together, intact and unpainted, at least for the time being. I think they're a great piece of Airfix history, and the condition of the box and the figures, I really don't want to compromise that too much. I understand that there is a market for these, and I don't have the time or the interest in painting like 100 just green guys of this era. There's really no use for it for me other than to just have the experience of painting the one. So I will likely get to that at some point. And as always, guys, thank you so much for all your likes, your comments, everyone who subscribed. It's really awesome to hear like what you guys are doing with Army men, if you're painting them up, collecting them, or if you just got an awesome story to tell from your childhood. I'd love to hear it. Put it in the comments below, and thank you so much. Have a great day.